All right, greetings, true believers. Today is all about the Snyder Cut. I'm really glad this is happening, mainly because it's fan initiated. I mean, when you really think about the efforts that Warner Brothers underwent to make sure that, news footage and any understanding about just how much was compiled and left on the cutting room floor of Zack Snyder's edition of this is astounding, and despite all of their efforts, despite the monumental influences that they may possess, inevitably the fans won out. And so today we're gonna run through this little bit of news on the Snyder Cut. I again, I can't wait for this to happen. It's an interesting way that they have constructed this with the sort of episodic manner, right? You know what I mean? At first, I thought it was sort of a money grab. One would presume, especially given everything that's going on, the idea of creating as much content for streaming services as possible is ideal. But given, again, the amount of content that was left out of the theatrical release, especially the direction that he wanted to go in, because remember, this was supposed to be 5 movies. And yeah, if you could see the title, the Aquaman was broke after Game of Thrones, bro. Like Khal Drogo, no money, no. But there's supposed to be 5 movies, and it's supposed to be Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, then Justice League 1, 2, and 3. And the elements that we're going to see in the 4 1-hour episodes are hopefully going to lead into another Justice League movie. Like, that's the whole idea that Snyder was talking about. He was recently on a podcast whose name escapes me, where he spoke about how he had already kind of, in a very George Lucas-esque manner, planned out the additional sequences for the Justice League plot arc. But yeah, we're gonna read through this article real quick, and then I'll explain a little bit more about that in a second. But Aquaman star Jason Momoa reveals he struggled with debt and had trouble finding work following Game of Thrones. Now, Jason Momoa is on top of the world right now, following his rise to stardom thanks to his roles in Game of Thrones and Aquaman, and also upcoming Dune. But that wasn't always the case, as the actor recently revealed that he fell on hard times after production wrapped on the HBO adaptation of George R.R. Martin's popular fantasy books, which I heard through the grapevine, the latest one, The Winds of Winter, I think it was supposed to be called. He's not even working on it. You know what? Don't even start on Game of Thrones, seriously. In a new interview with Entertainment Weekly, Momoa claimed he was starving and unable to find work after Game of Thrones, with the actor noting that his situation was particularly troublesome after, as a father raising 2 children. I mean, we were starving after Game of Thrones. I couldn't get work. Can you imagine being on one of the most popular television shows of all time and being broke? I mean, it's very challenging, to say the least. He's very humble about it, but it's very challenging when you have babies and you're completely in debt. Aside from the critically acclaimed but ultimately disappointing HBO series, wow, that's how they sum up Game of Thrones. I mean, the last 2 seasons had a lot left to be desired, but the writing, because they stuck to the material on hand, was pretty good up until then. That's, it's like 75% hitting the mark. But Momoa's credits at the time featured several major bombs, including a role in a failed Conan reboot and the adaptation of the graphic novel Bullet to the Head alongside Sylvester Stallone. On the subject of his Game of Thrones character Khal Drogo, Momoa noted how fans were unable to separate the part from the actor. See what I just did earlier? They didn't know I was playing a role. I'm nothing like Drogo. Momoa has also discussed how he was hurt by the questioning of his familiarity with and capacity to speak the English language, telling the entertainment news outlet that for a while afterward, a lot of people bagged on me. It hurt me a lot. And recalling how people thought I didn't speak English. That is very ignorant. He also added that there is, in fact, a side of him that relates to Drogo and not just the more rough and antagonistic aspects of the character. I'm like Drogo when I'm being lovey and close to the woman I love and being nice, but his other half is not me, said Momoa. Everyone fell in love with Drogo when they rewatched the show. I mean, he was a tribal leader, a tribal warlord. You can't expect sophistication out of him, but he did end up showing depth. I thought even though he wasn't speaking a language anyone could understand, Momoa was able to convey emotion well. He's all right. He's not, he's not a big lug. All right, he's good. Beloved as Drogo is, it wasn't until Momoa was cast as Aquaman in Batman v Superman that his career finally turned around, something he can thank Snyder for. I thought he was crap in that. Actually, when they finally were able to flesh out the character, that's when you saw some range. Momoa often shows appreciation to his Justice League director, as could be seen when the actor served as a proud proponent of the fan demand to release the Snyder Cut. Momoa also stands with co-star Ray Fisher on the shady things Fisher alleges went down on the set during reshoots. But that's a different matter, Joss Whedon. Jason Momoa's personal struggles appear to be a thing of the past with Aquaman 2, another season of Apple's TVC, which is a very good show. I highly recommend it. It's sort of like the Dark Tower in the sense that mankind has moved beyond the time that we know. It's a time after time, and evolution has kind of devolved us to no longer possess sight. So then some more time goes by, and the next generation of children that can see are born, and so it's about their exploits. But that is the end of that article. I highly suggest you watch See. And so, it is interesting that he ended up struggling so much, but how serendipitous. He's got a very unique build, posture, and he does have enough depth that he can portray a comic book character. In See, this is actually another reason why you should watch See. In See, he's a father, and you kind of see this amalgamation of Drogo, Aquaman, and as Drogo and Aquaman meets fatherhood, right? He is still this sort of gruff and aggressive type, highly skilled combatant, but the lovey-dovey aspect he was talking about in the article there, he gets a chance to flesh that out, and it shows in the show. He definitely carries his own weight, if not the show single-handedly. Alfre Woodard is also in it. Shout outs. But Zack Snyder, the new Snyder Cut, apparently only filmed 4 additional minutes. This is what I was talking about the trove of content that was left on the cutting room floor by ultimately Jeff Johns and Joss Whedon. They removed the movie within a movie that was supposed to be, the sequel, and they changed the original movie, the Justice League movie that you were watching. Totally different movie altogether. But earlier this year, Zack Snyder got a lot of fans excited when it was announced that he would be reassembling a few key Justice League cast members to finally finish his version of the film, which is coming to HBO Max next year. At least 5 actors were called back for reshoots in Los Angeles. However, it turns out their new scenes won't be adding much to the final runtime. Snyder recently appeared on Beyond the Trailer to discuss how his Justice League cut was coming along. Surprisingly, he revealed that he only shot a few minutes of additional new footage. I think it's valid on one hand, though, said Snyder. I will say that in the end, it's going to probably be about 4 or 5 minutes of additional photography for the entire film. In the 4 hours that is Justice League, maybe 4 minutes. It's 1 minute an hour, 1 minute an episode of extra. But what it is that the original footage is being added finished, and they're doing reshoots to, tie up any loose ends that might. That's what I mean. They really, really butchered his movie. Reps for Warner Brothers previously relayed that they will be giving Snyder millions of dollars to finalize his cut of Justice League. In September, the rap reported, that's what I mean, all this money, and they're doing 4 minutes of additional shooting. That means the majority of it is going to be additional photography and things of that nature. It's not clear how much of this went towards the reshoots, which reportedly only took a week to finish. There's also the matter of special effects that still need to be completed. Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, and Ray Fisher were among those who filmed new scenes. The shoot also had Jared Leto. Oh, God. We getting it. We getting Suicide Squad Joker. And Joe Manganiello returned to reprise their roles as the DCEU's Joker and Deathstroke. During DC Fandom, Snyder also confirmed to giving Fisher Cyborg a meteor role after most of his scenes were cut when Whedon took over the movie, right? So that is happening, and it all concludes with this. The Snyder Cut is coming. The new trailer for it is coming Tuesday. Don't let me misspeak and get people hyped on our list and whatnot. But a new version of the Snyder Cut trailer for the Justice League movie will be released on Tuesday in addition to a short about the fan movement. YouTuber Grace Randolph interviewed Snyder about his Justice League movie coming to HBO Max and asked if anything big is planned for this Tuesday, which marks not only the 3-year anniversary of the release of the movie, but more importantly, this 1-year anniversary of the release of the Snyder Cut campaign started by the fans. Zack confirmed that he has plans to release a new version of the Snyder Cut trailer on Tuesday, where he confirms it was recently taken down because of a music rights issue. Good Lord. And says he will do a live stream of the new trailer on the Vero app where he will break it down scene by scene. Really, he's such a nerd and a fanboy. And I think this is why he has always been the go-to director when you want a comic book or graphic novel adaptation and you're not looking to really do anything innovative with the content. You really are just looking for as closely related an adaptation as you can get to the source material. Watchmen, 300, even Batman, elements of Batman v Superman are panel for panel, shot for shot from The Dark Knight Returns. And so he is the go-to. And I can always appreciate an artist who is a fan of the work. Not necessarily the work that he does himself, that too, but just an artist who's a fan of art. Like he's a comic book director who's a fan of comic books. And so that resonates. And, here we are with the fan-initiated, fan-agitated, really fan-deserved and desired cut of the movie that we originally wanted. So he says the cut has to be tweaked, and we can expect something different from the trailer when it gets released on Tuesday. Snyder Cut will be a new, tweaked version. While not set in stone, it will be expected to live stream on the Vero app around 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesday. And then, that's about the long and short of it. It will be a sight to see, a sight to behold for sure. Please like and subscribe. Be well to each other. Take care.